I've got what I think is going to be a informative for you because my friend Dwayne Golden, we've known each other forever, and Dwayne has done a lot training people. He's built a multi-level marketing company, and so he's really got a lot, I think, that he can offer you in terms of, because some of you all are new to the internet, number one, Dwayne, because we know those people, right? They're new to network marketing like I was. And so what I want to do is try to help people who are both new to internet, new to network marketing, and so, they want to get started. They're new, they're excited, and they want us to start doing some stuff on the internet to try to get people into their business. Let's go over a few things, a few basic things that'll help them.
Okay. I guess one of the first things is that I think is important for anyone being new to either internet or network marketing or both is to run from anybody that tries to give you the 1 hour training that tells you that's all you need. Well, one of the biggest lies out there, all you have to do is pay and you're good and you're automatically going to get it for free, or because you join me, you're just going to make tons of money. Those things, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. There's work involved. There's a learning curve. And so one of the biggest things I think that hurts and gives the internet marketing or internet in general, as well as network marketing, a black eye is that of non-truth. And so I think, Charles, you've seen it. Somebody puts a pie in the sky message on the website and guarantees everybody. I've seen, you and I were looking, I think, in Warrior Plus like 2 years ago. Yep. Some guy told everybody he's given, it's only cost $1,000 for it, and everybody at once, you're getting a 100% money back guarantee. Before you know it, he got his money locked up, and it's sad. But that's it, Charles. I don't mean to ramble, but that's one of the biggest things. If you could ignore that and expect some work, expect a learning curve, I think the sky's the limit for that person who has the open mind and is ready to do that.
Well, one thing I know that you did a couple of times, I've seen you, is regardless of when somebody joins, what business they join, you always encourage people to either get their own site, or in some cases you provided them with a site even though they probably had one with their company. So I want to talk about some of the reasons why you felt like when somebody joins, they need to have their own site.
Well, there are some patterns in the internet market or the network marketing world that have a short shelf life. One of them is to point people away from you towards a company, right? So a company will ask you to get your list, make a list of 20 people that you know, and then just point them to me. And then when you point them to the company, if the company hiccups, shuts down, does something crazy, you've lost some close relationships. When you put them to you, now you're actually doing real business. You are the business, and the company is only a provider. Could you imagine going to CVS, and CVS sells Crest or Colgate toothpaste? Mm-hmm. Imagine if CVS said, okay, you want toothpaste? Go over to Crest. No, right. You come to CVS and buy your Crest, you buy your mouthwash, you buy your lip balm, you buy your hair gel. You do it all from here. We are the business, and we have lots of suppliers. So I'm one that believes network marketing should be one of suppliers, but of these individuals who have their own home business. Putting magnets on the cars, the T-shirts, that's all cool, I guess, but it doesn't help long term. People that do that generally will have 3 to 7 new businesses a year that they have to start because they never point people towards themselves.
You'll hear people say time to time that it's either you got to sort of work solely on the company. You kind of touched on this a little bit, and some people say you don't worry about the business you're in at all. And I know you have like a unique take on that. So I sort of know where you're going with this, but I just kind of want you to kind of highlight that. Is it just focus all on the business and then have your stuff, or kind of focus on the stuff and the business is kind of incidental?
Well, several things are incidental. Number one, there are some great businesses with amazing compensation plans and nobody's making money and they go out of business. There are some great businesses with amazing products, unfortunately, and no one's buying enough, things aren't working. So when people chop up the idea of business into one segment, be it, let's go to this one, I really like to look at their website, or we have this one, they have the best products in the world. That is not enough. Just like finding a beautiful wife isn't enough for a marriage to work. Finding an amazing, strong husband isn't enough to make your marriage work. Business is the same way. So what happens is people, because of a low business acumen, they associate the success of what a business may have done in 1 month or 1 year with how successful it can be for them. And that's a mistake. So my recommendation is to learn what you can and master. Learn what you can. If you don't know how the thing pays, it's not enough for you to go share it with someone else. You learn how it pays, then you share it with someone else. You don't know what the product is. You know what the name of it is, but you don't know what it is. Learn. It's amazing how many people join a network marketing company, Charles, and they will spend 2 or 3 hours a day watching TV and complain that no one told them how the product worked when they could just literally go and read the stuff themselves. So I'm not a big fan of the whole just sign up and it's going to all work for you. I really believe that the business is a big picture and each individual is the business. To know one thing and run, it's a mistake. You said lots of failure. In fact, I'm going to give you some stats. The average network marketer doesn't even see $150 a month. Many times, or most of the time, it's because someone deceived them just to get them to join. They thought there was nothing to do except join. The reality is those people that dive in and they'll give their all in all to make it work. They give their all. They'll learn what it takes. They'll work it. They'll work it even when there's no results. Those people, that's a part of the 1 to 3% who will produce more than $150 a month. They'll produce more than $1,500. In many cases, more than $15,000. So anyway, I rambled. So I hope you're happy about that.
When I've heard you counsel people who come to you and they say, I really I really would do better, if I had a list like yours, Dwayne. If I had a list that I could grow, and I know what the answer is. Again, is when it comes to building a database, building a list of people who might be buying stuff. What's the magic in it? And again, I know where you're going with this, but why don't you share kind of your take on this and how you counsel people?
Well, a list, if you're talking about internet marketing, it's a very cold thing. It's just a name and address that people that are going to respond to some writing that you do. So I'm not really into that as much. But building a list for network marketing, it's all based on relationships. When, if you don't like people, right? And I'm being straight. If you don't like dealing with people, maybe network marketing is not for you. Internet marketing more likely is, because internet marketing, you can just pretty much type words and send emails out all day.
Right.
And someone will respond to the email and look at the page and someone else's video. But network marketing, if you want to build it long term, it's about developing, not just meeting people and building that list up, but building a rapport, trust, things like that. So if you don't like people, you hate communication, you hate people, right? And I'm being honest, a lot of people are like that. They'll tell you, I don't like to deal with anyone. I really prefer to be in the back seat. I don't want to deal with anything. Well, it's not that you can't be in business. You have to pick something that more suits your personality. So in that case, network marketing can be for some. They can get like that family atmosphere with it, but they're probably not going to make much money if you don't like people and you don't have the discipline to take the time to build a relationship. It's like, Charles, those people that think just because they were captain of the football team, they can walk up to any girl and the girl wants to go home with them for the night. Mm-hmm. A good relationship, be it personally or network marketing, deserves some time and attention and some building.
So it's not magic per se. What it really is, I mean, just like everything else, and the case is probably true in internet marketing too, it's some work. When you've had your first real success combining, what was internet marketing and getting people to actually join you, can you talk about that? What was it that if you could pick one thing that was a key factor to that one time, to the first time that you had real success, what would you say that is?
Communication. I would say that the one thing that brought it all together, I was new. I didn't know what I was doing, but man, was I having a ball. Um, Communication, because with that one element, I could build a rapport. I can earn trust. And so the best way for me to communicate when it deals with numbers of people that would grow into it, it was to have a what was called a conference call. Mm-hmm. These things, the video and stuff wasn't in, right? Webinars and stuff. And so I would build a conference call the same time every week. And if you were new, my communication, the minute you signed up, you got an email message welcoming you with a message from me and a picture, welcoming them and letting them know that we are there to help them. Join us on Tuesday night. We're going to walk them through how to get through this business. Then on Tuesday night, I would do a big overall training and welcome and name everyone new that's coming in, and then congratulate people that are being successful. Then after a short while, people that began to start seeing success, I had a separate meeting for them, and I would have that on Saturdays where I train leaders. So I had these combinations to do what I'm talking about. Instead of trying to do like a cold, callous internet marketing thing, I actually built real rapport. Same thing I did when I built an MLM company. I built it off of trust and giving myself to the point that people could see that I cared as much about them as I did success. Those are things that matter. But like I said, if you don't like people, you can be good, but I don't know that you can be great. And I know that there's a certain portion of the population of people that they like people, they don't dislike people, they just don't like communicating or interacting with them, and people really annoy them. It's a new generation out here, Charles, that grew up in front of computers and technology only. They'd much rather text and do things like that with people rather than a real conversation. So that's what I meant by that.
Does the ability, you mentioned Facebook and YouTube Live and all the stuff, do those mediums change what you just talked about? Does that change? Would that change some of the stuff that you actually do, or would you just translate all those same things into a new medium, right? Because again, and here's why I ask you that, because I've heard that, to some degree, Facebook changes everything, and so thinking about that, where do you come down with that?
For me, it actually enhances it, but it can do one or the other. It can enhance it or make it worse. It can be seen as a big distraction. People busy themselves in a lot of activities that don't point back to growing that list or that group. So if you are disciplined and take your time and create a strategy around your communication, you can use videos like this. You can use tons of videos. In fact, I just have a video uploading right now to an MLM group. I've got different things going, different channels. Like I have like a 30, 40-minute video going up on my Facebook fan page for another group. So it can work. The same concept, teaching, training, developing, and giving of yourself so people know that you're real, that you can be trusted. Those are things that matter. So it can be enhanced, or it could be the opposite. People can really see that you don't care if they see you doing a lot of the stuff, but none of it has to do with them. All you're doing is using it to brag about all the money you have. And unfortunately, it'll backfire. It won't work for you.
We've seen a couple of instances where there's sort of these two schools of thought, and there's one that says you really do have to build, and you have to build up from relationships. Other people say that takes a long time, and you don't attract people who necessarily want to be who want to be successful, who want money. Right, and so the other school of thought is I've got to show people kind of my status. I've got to show the things that I have. I've got to show that I have some of these things. You're
close. Go ahead.
Is that necessary? Right? Do I have to show the things that people want in order for them to come to me?
There's different schools of thought, Charles. I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a fan of it. I built a business with nothing, and people didn't know anything about me, right? I'm a private person, so I wasn't showing the things. You can build it without that. There are people that know, listen, hey, I would tell people, we used to work together. I no longer do work there anymore. I am doing this full time. Come out and see what it's about. I can't make any promises, this is where I'm going. My wife and I plan to retire from this. You can join in or just come out and see what it's all about. It doesn't take a lot of talking or showing which fancy stuff. It takes people seeing that you're real. Because to use things, if I showed someone something that I have, that doesn't have anything to do with them. They may not ever do it. So to use it, I'm not a big fan of that. Now, I know a lot of people do it. They call it lifestyle marketing. Mm-hmm. Lifestyle marketing gets people to say yes, but it doesn't take them anywhere else. That's as irresponsible as getting someone to agree to have your child and not playing with the rest of it. No, it makes no sense at all. So that's my take on it. I think that people can follow you without even knowing anything about your private things that you like, without seeing your cabin in the woods, right? Without taking a ride and looking at your fancy watch and your amazing glasses, your private jet. Those things that get people to say, wow, but it doesn't transforms lives. It doesn't do it at all. It just says, wow, I'm signing up today. And then those same people that sign up, they end up charging back. I mean, the people that have the highest chargeback ratios on the internet are those who do lifestyle marketing. Mm-hmm. People get in and say, wait a minute, I did it, but I don't have a new BMW yet. What's going on? So.
Well, I want you to close out on, I know you did, you talked about conference calls, and like I said, they didn't have webinars and all that stuff back then. But you attribute a lot of what you were able to do to doing a regular training. And I know, and I remember that, there were times when you first started doing the training, there would be nobody on the calls except for you.
Oh, absolutely.
So, right.
So the first 1 to 3 months, nobody was there.
Yeah. How does a person work through that, right? Because if they're new to the internet, maybe they understand, okay, you know what, I want to do these trainings, but it's a little bit difficult when there's nobody.
Yes, yet. But here's the thing. It's one thing to do just calls, but you have to be working on it. I might do a call, but everybody I came in contact with, I'm like, don't forget, Tuesday night, where are you going to be? I've made it a part of the process. If you signed up, you got an email inviting me, telling me what I'm going to do on it. Eventually, I knew it was going to work because all the work throughout the week was pointing towards it. I'm not a big believer in just saying have it and it's going to, go sit at the car lot and you're going to drive away with a new one. I don't say that, right? I say the opposite. I say build it and they'll come. I remember when I started my own home business, build it. Had no one to sign up for it first. It's okay. Whole month went by. Heard some people interested. They wanted to know if I could give them a free account, but nothing happened. Mm-hmm. I could run or I could finish building. I work until a handful. Then the first 116 people came in, right? Whoa, wait, that's like 7 months, 6 months later. Then more. Before you know it, 10,000. Hey, we had a whole weekend when there's like 5,000, 6,000. So it just before you know it starts growing like crazy. But the proof is in the pudding. The proof comes in when you're willing to build on solid blocks. Building on how fancy your house or your car is, it's sinking. Building on how good looking you are, not enough. The reason I do trainings is because it puts the ball in their court, helps them to build. That's, showing them how fancy a car or jewelry is, that's about me. But training them and showing them how they can be successful, how I'm willing to work with them to help them get their first 4 people so they can qualify for their first reward, helping them to win contests, helping them to qualify to go to the convention. Those were things that people they saw me bleeding for them. They were willing to bleed for me. And together we created a bloody mess.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's really helpful for people, again, to get a real sense, that, because we a lot of people they're new to both things, right? And so, and there are still people, I think, right now who are entering the industry, I mean, every day, and really needing that perspective. Last words. So, you talked about being willing to put the work in and build, that the internet and social media should enhance what they're doing, that it isn't the whole thing. But if you had last words, right, what would the last words be?
Be willing to put more into your home business than you put into your job. So if you're willing to put 40 hours a week in your job just to be able to make ends meet, to make that 40 or 60 or $100,000 a year, if you're willing to do that, right, and you say you want true financial freedom, be willing to do the exact same thing for this new business. I'm not saying it's required because you really don't take that much, but if you do it, it's going to work. That's what I want to say. Uh, you know, I look back when you started, Charles, when you left where you worked. It's about probably 9 or 10 years ago. I don't remember how long ago, but it was. But you went all in. Next thing you know, I'm talking to you. You're at a conference. You're willing to learn. And see, building isn't talking to everyone trying to recruit people and hustle people. It's building and developing. I watched you. I not only do a lot of training, but I go to a lot of trainings. I'm a book fanatic. I want to learn what I don't know. So I just want to tell people, be willing to at least invest into it more than you gave your job. And it will pay you better than it will help bring your dreams to fruition. That's it.
So Dwayne, where can everybody find out a little bit more about you?
Hello, DwayneGolden.com. For now, I have some other stuff going on, but that's enough. DwayneGolden.com. You can learn a little bit more about me and the kind of things that I'm doing. But I encourage you, and I tell you, it's about you. Get started. Get some development. It doesn't take much. You know, by the time you've seen the 5 top movies for the year, you could have learned enough to create your first $1,000. Learn. Right? And if you took the same money you put into those top 5 or 6 movies and put that into training, you might buy a nice $49 something that's going to teach you something somewhere. So that's what I tell people. Be willing to give your business the same respect they gave the other parts of your life.
All right, right on. Everybody, this has been Charles Harper and Dwayne Golden. Dwayne, as always, thank you. Fantastic. And everybody, once again, thank you for picking this up. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks, bro.